837, Big 550 KTRS. Professor Aaron Taylor of St. Louis University Law School. He's an assistant professor. He's here in studio. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You got it. How are the new digs downtown?
Perfect.
Really?
Yes, very good.
All right, good. Plenty of parking?
Not really. At least not plenty free parking.
Plenty of free parking. All right, fair enough. But you don't get any closer to the courts building, right?
Exactly. We're right next door,
Yeah.
and restaurants everywhere, and our students can really engage into the legal community.
You got it. Good. All right. Now, you're here to talk about the fact that St. Louis University Law School is moderating a panel discussion on the Missouri student transfer issue, which sort of reared its ugly head earlier this year. Tell us about the panel. What's going on?
Well, today we're hosting we call it a conference, but it's really a community discussion about this issue with the student transfers in Missouri. We're going to start at 11 o'clock with kind of a contextual history of how we got here. So we'll have Elisa Crouch, who is an education reporter with the Post-Dispatch and who has been all over this story since the very beginning. Then we'll transition into our panel discussion where we'll have our current dean, Mike Wolf, who was on the Supreme Court when the Turner decision was decided. It said the language is unambiguous in providing a right to transfer. We'll also have Chris Nicastro from DESE, and she'll talk about its role in facilitating the transfers. And we'll have Ty McNichols, who is the superintendent of Normandy School District, and of course Normandy has been in the news a lot lately. And then we'll have Kate Casas from the Children's Education Alliance of Missouri, and they have been very pro-transfers and pro-school choice.
And you're going to moderate all this?
Yes.
Are you going to do it in the Socrates method?
Not really. I kind of want to insert my opinion just a bit, but they'll have a lot of time to talk.
This debate, this argument is so interesting. And when the Supreme Court ruled, the Supreme Court basically said the law says if it's an unaccredited school district, they're allowed to transfer. What's the argument, right? I mean, you don't get any simpler than that.
Yeah, the law is very profound, and it's very simple in the way it's written. And, the Supreme Court has confirmed twice that it's unambiguous. It gives this right, but school districts are still saying that, it's impossible for us to conform with this. We have, Normandy and Riverview Gardens who are really in danger of going bankrupt and probably not existing anymore if this goes far long enough. And so, yeah, it's a lot to talk about, but this law is very simple in the way it's written.
Also, the fact that the St. Louis schools are in some made-up accreditation standard, correct?
I don't know if it's made up. All of it is made up in the end. But, yeah, they're really in a tenuous position at SLPS, as are other districts in the area as well.
What's interesting about all of it, all of it's interesting, but that nobody's happy. Right. The legislature's not happy. The school districts that the kids are transferring out of aren't happy. The school districts where the kids are transferring into it, nobody's happy.
Right.
And yet they won't rewrite the law or change the law.
Right. Everybody's unhappy, but they're unhappy about different things. So it's hard to come to a consensus as to what the solution is. Public education is one of the most difficult things to get everybody to agree on.
And the problem is, not only are people not happy, everyone, students, parents, the schools, but schools are losing money, and Normandy, they're barely holding on right now.
Tens of millions of dollars, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. If and when the transfer process begins in Kansas City, we're going to see all of these issues play out on a much larger scale. You're talking about over $100 million there that they're projected to lose if the students begin to transfer out.
Except the parents of the kid who's stuck in a school district, which is unaccredited.
Yeah.
That parent actually now has a choice to send their kid to a school where he or she can actually survive and thrive.
And that's the greatest argument in favor of the law, in that you're giving parents a choice who want something better for their children. Now, it's important to say that, these quote-unquote failing districts aren't failing everybody. There's some kids there who are thriving and happy. But for those parents who aren't, and for those kids who aren't, the strongest argument for this law is that they have a choice now.
The thing that's so sad is the amount of money it costs to get the kid to school.
Yeah.
And the amount of money they're now being forced to pay to drive the kid from Normandy all the way out to Francis Howell.
Right. This would be much more sustainable had the school districts not have to pay for transportation. But without transportation, you're not really providing a realistic choice for a lot of kids.
Right.
So the transportation is as vital as, access to the school itself.
Is this open to the public?
Yes, everybody can come, and we encourage, members of the community. If you have kids who are in the school district in St. Louis or, anywhere really, we encourage you to come to this program.
But what do you hope that comes out of this, though?
Well, we want to foster a discussion, obviously, and really talk about the issues in a deep, substantive way. And hopefully, we can come up with that one big solution that everybody can agree on and we can all live happily ever after.
But as the moderator, pretty ambitious here. As the moderator, your role, I was kind of joking about the Socratic method, but that's sort of a pretty good method to put these people into real-life situations that may or may not happen and sort of challenge their own thought process.
Right, and these are all people who are playing a very important role in the way this law is working or not working for that matter. And I just hope to get their insights out to everybody in attendance and, again.
How did you get in charges, or how did you come to this?
One of my favorite students asked me to help out.
Really? One of your favorite students?
Right.
Professors have favorite students? I knew it.
No, I actually teach education law at the law school, and so it's kind of one of my specialty areas.
And you've been in St. Louis, you came here 2 years ago?
Yes.
From where?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. What are your thoughts on St. Louis after 2 years?
I like it a lot. It kind of reminds me of Little Rock Plus.
Which means what?
Well, it's Little Rock, which I liked a lot for the record.
Okay, right.
But it's just more here.
Right. Yeah. Have you become a Cardinal fan?
I'm getting it.
All right, fair enough. Now, where is this forum today?
This is at the law school downtown on our beautiful 12th floor.
12th floor, and there's plenty of paid parking available.
Yes.
Yes, plenty of paid parking. Aaron Taylor, St. Louis University law professor, moderating a panel, a discussion on the Missouri student transfer story. And St. Louis City is partially accredited.
Yes.
So the kids...
Provisionally accredited.
Provisionally accredited, which doesn't exist in the statutes. You would agree with that, right, law professor?
Yes, maybe.
Okay, all right. Kansas City has a different set of lawsuits that are working its way through the Supreme Court. Do you agree with many other people who say there's no way that the Missouri Supreme Court can't make the same decision? They're going to make the same decision in Kansas City as the one here?
Yes, I agree completely. What the school districts in the KC area are asking the court to do is basically overturn its decision of just a few months ago.
Right.
And I don't see that happening.
Right. So Kansas City next school year is going to be in this same...
And that's really going to be a spectacle.
Yeah.
What state do you think is doing it right? And what state could we model ourselves after?
Well, it's according to what right is. I mean, you have places like Maine that has a transfer policy if it's in the best interest of the kid. I mean, it's basically an open enrollment type school choice model. The thing is, the Maine K-12 system is much different from the Missouri K-12 system. And so it's hard to compare states to each other because it's an apples and oranges type thing.
Last question for you, Aaron Taylor, St. Louis University law professor. I got a red light camera ticket. Should I pay it?
Well, I got one my first day in St. Louis, and I paid mine. So, yeah, you have to pay yours, I guess. I don't know.
I got a red light
you
camera
tell me.
ticket, too. Yeah.
You're fired. You're not my lawyer anymore. That's not the answer I wanted. Holy mackerel. All right. Today, downtown St. Louis University Law School, which is on Tucker and what?
Tucker and
15th?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah, Tucker and Tucker. Well, Tucker is 15th. It's going to be Tucker and Oliver right there on Tucker and City Hall.
My car gets me there.
There you go. What time does the shindig start?
11 o'clock, and we'll go until about 1:30, 2 o'clock.
And it's open to the public.
Yes.
Aaron Taylor, Professor Aaron Taylor, please do not be a stranger. We'd love to have you come by.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. 8:47 here, Big 550.